question I regularly see in Wizard Witch streams or videos is how they are manipulating their teleports to move in ways that don't seem possible to newer players or people who haven't had experience with the mouse to move option in the game settings. This video aims to explain the applications of the technique and make this information readily available, especially for those newer to the class. Timestamps will be in the description for those who already know the basics. Mouse to move is referring to an in-game setting that you can toggle on, which can be used to direct your character's actions. It's most commonly used to change the direction of class skills that cannot normally be turned simply by moving your mouse to face a new direction. To enable it, navigate to your settings under the escape menu, click on Interface Settings, click on Mouse Interface Settings, and toggle on the Use Mouse to Move button. Click Apply, and you can now use it by pressing the Control key by default to bring up your mouse. This key is tied to whatever key you have for Show Hide Cursor, which can be found under UI hotkeys. You can change this to be something more suitable for you. Left clicking on the floor will cause your character to move towards that location, or if you're animation locked, face that direction. Enabling and utilizing mouse to move lets you get the most potential out of your class by granting you more control and maneuverability. Mouse to move is especially important for casters as it allows you to choose exactly how you want to move our only iframe, teleport. Another common use of mouse to move is to move the front of your character as a fast class zips around you, as this will negate the bonus of back attacks and allow safer use of frontal guards. However, for this video, I will be exclusively talking about how to use teleport to maximize its usefulness. As you probably know, teleporting normally will launch you in the final direction your mouse is facing before the casting bar at the bottom of your screen finishes. This limits your range of movement to a hollow circle centered around your character. And let's say we factor in the second teleport. This still limits your range of movement to a hollow circle around the point where you landed after the first teleport. Additionally, you're traveling in straight lines, which makes it difficult to navigate around terrain with lots of rocks or walls. Implementing mouse to move to your teleports lets you have total control over where your teleport ends, as well as the path you take to get to that endpoint. While the usefulness of this technique has debatably decreased, with more players opting for a succession over awakening, getting used to mouse to move can save your life and set you up for some great plays. All of the following clips come from my montage last year, and even though it mainly showcases the combination of mouse to move teleports and grabs, the same concepts still apply. Here, I TP away while the tamer lands right where I'm standing to avoid being grabbed. However, rather than teleport away, I use mouse to move to return back to where I originally teleported away from. This allowed me to quickly CC my opponent before they could find where I teleported to and react accordingly. In this clip, I used the teleport in the same way to avoid being grabbed, but instead of going for an immediate CC after landing, I TP away using my ultimate teleport as I assumed he would grab me if he saw me reappear in front of him, leaving him vulnerable to range CC. The Zerker ended up not grabbing me, but mouse moving my teleport still left me in a favorable position nonetheless. Here, I TP prior to a Mu making any aggressive advance towards me. Since I let my teleport initially move forward, the particles that trail behind after a wizard or witch teleports leads a Mu to believe I went behind him. However, since I mouse moved the teleport, after moving forward first, it essentially makes him turn his guard away from me. This clip is slightly different from the others, as I teleport after blocking what I thought was his solar flare, but my summon actually stiffened him before he could get the attack off. Mid-teleport, I realized that he's actually CC'd, so I moused to move my teleport to get back to where I was so that I could quickly follow up before the stiffen ended. I think those are enough examples to help you understand where being able to move your teleport could be useful in duels, but if you want more 1v1 examples, I suggest you watch the whole video and try to see how you would move your teleport. If you're interested in how this could be useful in large-scale scenarios such as Node War or Siege, I'll be showing how I use teleports in various areas around the map to give you some ideas about utilizing terrain in tandem with your teleports. Take this position in Calphion Castle as an example. If my guild is calling to push up these stairs, but I'm stuck behind tons of people, or there are structures in the way, I can move my TP to turn around this stairway and end up outside. In Media, there are tons of rocks lying around the road, and if I were to try and teleport during a ball fight, I would likely not be able to get much distance, or my options would be limited to a couple directions. Adding in mouse to move, I can get myself around these rocks and into a favorable position where I can use the rock as an obstruction to my opponents. Out in Valencia Castle, the staircase by first gate can be especially tough to navigate, with 200 or more people sitting on the balconies. Starting from this relatively safe position from under the balcony, I can move both my teleports to make it all the way up to the room, safely without getting CC'd. So now that you know what mouse to move can do, how do you practice? If you're just starting out, I recommend that you find a way to slow down your casting speed and movement speed, which I've found to be easiest by overloading your character with weight. Initially, you're going to want to put enough items on your character to put yourself over 125% of your weight limit, which can be easily tracked by the icon in the top right next to your minimap. This will give you the max slow debuff from being overweight, and will let you practice mouse to moving at a slower rate. This is useful as you not only get used to the key presses needed to make the maneuver, but it will also let you practice mouse to moving at a slower rate. This is so that if you get slowed in large scale or PvP in general, you'll be familiar with the speed. The next weight limit bracket to drop down to is between 100% and 125%, or between your Feathery Steps skill bracket from your fairy. And if you have Feathery Steps 5, you'll need to turn off your fairy for this, as it will make you skip this slow bracket. Finally, after getting used to these two weight brackets, you can free up your weight and practice at normal speed. You may also want to consider practicing with Speed Spell or Voltaic Cast Speed buff, as they quicken your teleport, making it a little harder. Now that you've practiced the key presses needed to move your teleport, it's time to practice your accuracy. If you have time, I suggest going to the battle arena to practice teleporting yourself between and around the dummies. You can start on a dummy and try to teleport and land on the same dummy again. Alternatively, you can start at one dummy and try to teleport and land on a different dummy. This way you can practice controlling the distance of your teleport. You can also practice all these aspects of teleporting by using mouse to move whenever you can, such as when you're grinding or moving between your residence and the storage for cooking.